Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today we're going to talk about Dungeons & Dragons 5th Edition and bringing Soulbound concepts into your Dungeons & Dragons 5th Edition. And specifically, the concept we're going to talk about today is Soulfire. So, Soulbound is an absolutely fantastic tabletop role-playing game that every Dungeons & Dragons 5th Edition game master should buy. Not to run Soulbound, right? I think most dungeon masters are going to have a hard time running Soulbound. What is Soulbound? Soulbound is the Warhammer, not Warhammer 40k. It's the Warhammer Age of Sigmar tabletop role-playing game. Now, actually, the Warhammer Age of Sigmar War Miniatures game is very famous and very popular, okay? The Warhammer Fantasy tabletop role-playing game, the Warhammer Age of Sigmar Fantasy tabletop role-playing game, is made by Cubicle 7. It is an incredibly niche game, and you will have a very hard time getting a table set for Soulbound, right? The tabletop role-playing game. However, it is a brilliant game that has tons of awesome, incredible ideas that can be brought into Dungeons & Dragons 5th Edition. The first one we're going to talk about today is Soulfire. It is really, really good. All right, so listen to this game mechanic. So this exists within Soulbound. So in Soulbound, by the way, is it's its own Warhammer thing, but you don't need to worry about that. Let me explain explain Soulbound to you in Dungeons & Dragons 5th Edition. Soulbound is, what if if you had a Dungeons & Dragons crew, right? You know, what if you had your fighter, your cleric, your wizard, your rogue, right? 4 players, each with a player character. What if they all started at 20th level? That's what Soulbound is. It is nuts, right? It is bonkers crazy, okay? And it's a very powerful, really cool game, right? Now, one of the issues is, if you have a 20th level character, why on earth are they going to get together with other super legendary epic people? Well, there's really no good narrative reason, okay? So they create one in Soulbound so that they can pull this game together and make a good, compelling tabletop role-playing game. And what they do is they call it a bind, right? So in Soulbound, you could play like a Sylvaneth, which is like a living ent, which is like an ent that you can play as a player character. It's humanoid size, you know, regular human size, 6 foot tall, right? You could play a Stormcast Eternal. You could play a powerful wizard, or you could play all these incredible, really cool, super powerful, epic level heroes, okay? But why are you going to have 4 of these people together? Well, they call it a bind, and the way the game explains it is that they're all blessed by Sigmar, and that the fate of the universe rests on their shoulders. And literally, the power of good in the universe makes it so that when these characters come together, they can do more together than they can do apart. And the mechanic for this is Soulfire. So the way the game sets it up, it's completely runnable within 5th Edition, right? So you say, so what you would do in order to move this over to 5th Edition, and I'll explain it in 5th Edition terms, is you would introduce a non-player character to your player characters, and he would say, you know, you guys fight as a team, but you're very disconnected, right? Your lives are not intertwined, your faith are not intertwined. If you begin to share honesty and truth, if you begin to share the balance of your lives, if you trust each other with your lives, you could be soulbound. You can be bound together in a bind, right? And the good forces of the universe will back you and make sure that your goals are achieved, right? And then basically you would move the whole Soulfire game mechanic over from Soulbound into Dungeons & Dragons 5th Edition. I'll tell you exactly how you do it now. So basically, you get a number of points of Soulfire equal to the number of player characters. A game master, if the player characters complete an incredible goal, that they came together and they worked as a team and they trusted one another and there was no infighting and they treated each other like brothers and sisters that love and care for each other, even though they weren't blood, right? Then they could be soulbound, right? the good of the universe could embrace their struggle to make the universe better, right? This is how you explain it in Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. And if that happens, your group of 4 will have a soul fire point value of 4. Now, what can you do with soul fire? Well, the first thing is, for an entire check, you could spend 1 point of soul fire, which is a party resource. The entire party owns it, so a player character group would have a soul fire score of 4, right? And every point is only spent if the entire group approves of it, right? And if they do, they could do the following. So on one check, any check, all dice are maxed. So basically, you assume that a 20 is rolled, and then for all damage or all effect rolls, if you have a d6 and you're going to roll it, your value is just 6, right? So you do your test, you do your check, but no dice are rolled. You just assume maximum on all the values. Very powerful. But it's limited. It's limited to, and here's the thing. You only get new soul fire when you achieve goals as a group. When your harmony as a group is high, right? So soul fire is an unbelievable mechanic that is used in this game to that Soulfire is an unbelievable mechanic that you can put right into your Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition game. And essentially it says, if you guys treat each other with respect, if your player characters treat each other with trust, respect, kindness, and you form a bond, and then your group will be called a bind, right? You could do the following. You could spend a Soulfire point to max every value on one check. Okay, it could be an attack check, could be a skill check, whatever, right? The second one is you could use it to re-roll all rolls. The third one is you can use it to get rid of a death save. Just say, death save's gone, you're passed, you're up. Not only are you passed, but you're up with half your health points. And basically escaping the mortal coils of death, right? Then, in addition to that, you can also, I think what else can you do with it? You can have it restore all you, if you're wounded, you can have Soulfire restore get rid of all conditions and heal all hit points for every character in the bind. And that's it. But the thing I love about this is a game mechanic that rewards your players for treating each other with respect. That's the best kind of game mechanic you can have in tabletop role-playing games today. You have got to get Soulbound. Don't run Soulbound. Take the ideas and bring them over to your Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition game, right? But that's what I suggest you do with this. Have you seen a game mechanic this powerful, this awesome, this noble? I haven't in a while. I'm so excited about this. Check it out. And if you have seen game effects this well done, literally game mechanics that really actually reward good play, tell me about them. I'd love to hear it. All that is my opinion. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this subject. Let me know in the comments below. Please consider liking and subscribing, and have a wonderful millennium.